Gen X okay? No, seriously, are you guys okay?
Are we okay? Hell, are you okay? We're not that weak generation that goes running off at the mouths of complete strangers online, saying things that we wouldn't say to their faces.
Gen X is done playing games with Gen Z. Gen Z decided that they were going to keep on poking the bear, and now the bear is waking up and letting them know that we are done. Let's just go ahead and jump right into the first video because Gen Z is now going to have to learn the hard way why you never, ever mess with X.
We can all agree that if we're generalizing, Gen X is the worst generation.
Okay, if this is happening, if Gen Z is picking a fight with Gen X in the same way that millennials picked fights with boomers, you need to be prepared. Just to give my credentials, I am a cusp millennial, right? I'm one of the first ones, right? Meaning I have a lot of exposure to Gen X. My older brother is Gen X. He is firmly Gen X, and he is feral. The stereotype of Gen X, obviously, is that they don't care. They do not care. Right. And I think on the surface level, you think, okay, well, that's going to be easy. Then no, there was almost no visual record of Gen X when they were younger, meaning they could do whatever they wanted and not have to worry ever about a video resurfacing as they got older. You combine that with the fact that most of their parents are older boomers who gave them very little parental supervision, and that is a dangerous combination, my friends. A direct result of that is that the Gen X that you're seeing today are the ones that survived. They fear nothing. Millennials, like we were the first ones that had these programs in schools in place telling us that all the dangerous things we saw our older siblings doing were bad. As a result, many of the weak ones of us lived on. I'm a direct proof of that. So all I'm saying is just be careful. They're going to act like they don't care. But so do serial killers. And to any Gen X seeing this, know that I am saying this out of deep respect and also deep fear. Please do not come after me.
Wow. Guys, stop listening to Gen Xers who say, I don't care. Because there are a lot of them that are like, I don't care. But if you mess with them, then suddenly it's a whole different reality. Okay? They don't care because they don't want to be bothered. They want to be left alone. Do not misunderstand, I don't care with I won't respond. Okay? Do not confuse tired with retired. And when we say tired, they're tired of the BS. That doesn't mean they're old people. A lot of Gen Xers are stronger today than they were 20, 30, even 40 years ago. Because not only have they stayed in shape, but they have years and years, decades and decades of experience. So some of these guys, they can hit harder than when they were in their 20s. They can run faster than when they were in their 20s. They can lift more weight than when they were in their 20s. They can fight. Yes, they can fight better than when they were in their 20s. How is that possible? See, back then they were kids. Now they're adults. It's been 20, 30, or even 40 years. They've been training. While millennials have been sitting around just crying, and Gen Z while, sleeping and farting. For some reason, Gen X has apparently been getting ready for war. Well, I guess that makes sense because they fought in most of the last wars over the last 40 years. These are a group of people that no one should mess with. They spent their childhoods in cemetery. Well, young as teen years. Well, don't let me correct myself. Childhoods in cemeteries, in the woods, walking by railroad tracks. One of the big common things with Gen X was going somewhere and finding someone who was no longer with us, and it was just laying there. And what would Gen X do? Would they say, oh my gosh, this is so terrible? No. There was always that Gen Xer who would say, all right, let me grab that. Let me go find a stick real quick. Let me go find a stick. All right, I'm going to poke it. Why do you get to poke it first? Because I found it first, all right? I found it first. All right, fine, man. All right, but I'm next. Okay. Shit. And then, they would start poking it. And then when they would go home to their parents, they wouldn't tell their parents any of this. They would act like nothing happened. Guys, you don't know the secrets that Gen X is carrying. We never talk about this. These people have secrets. Okay? These people have secrets. Where do you think that whole stop stitching thing came from? Gen X. The things, the stories these people could tell you, the stories that go untold, they are truly unbelievable.
And to me how millennials, when it's time for them to live their life, if they want to go out for a weekend, hey mama, can you watch my baby for me? A lot of y'all in the Gen X generation, you won't even look out for them. And the sad part to me, Gen X will be like, oh, I don't got time for all of that. I done raised y'all. I want to live my life.
Hey, baby girl, you sound a little upset. Let me help you out a little bit. First of all, we've paid our dues, okay? These your fucking kids. You watch them. If you wanted me to be the type of grandmother to your kids that your grandmother was to y'all, then you probably should have consulted me and waited a little bit longer till it was time for me to actually sit down and not do what the fuck I want to do before you started having them. See, I chose when I had you, and then you chose this thug life for me. I didn't choose it. Okay, let's not forget that. Second of all, why won't you tell people that your kids is bad as hell? And that's why not only me, but won't nobody watch them. You so busy out here trying to be a city girl with your coochie pink and your booty hole brown that you ain't teaching these kids no manners and no respect. That's why won't nobody watch your kids. Not a grandmama, a grandpa, an uncle, or auntie. This sound real personal, baby girl. I think you need to go ahead and put your time in like we did. I gotta go. I got a plane to catch with the other grandmothers. We out.
Y'all see how young Gen X still looks? Listen to me. Gen Z doesn't want the smoke. If you notice, older millennials, all right, older millennials and zennials like myself, okay, we were there at the very beginning. We saw what happened. We saw what these people have done. We know. We saw it. We saw the stuff happening. Okay, we know who they are. There was always a fear. There was always a fear that you got when you were around some Gen Xers. It was a fear because you could you could tell that these kids were kind of bad. These kids were kind of bad. I'm not saying they were bad people, but they were kind of bad. Like they were kind of dangerous. Oh god. Oh god. They were feral. They were feral. You didn't mess with these people. You knew not to mess with these people. Oh my god. Guys, it's no wonder that 1983s like me are rushing it, are just like, yeah, listen, we are we're putting in that application. We're Zennials. We were born right between Gen X Gen X and the millennials. And we want to have nothing. Increasingly, we want to have nothing to do with the millennials. We're literally out here like, who are these people? Who are these people? Because they're not like us. They're not like us. It's like it's getting to that point right now.
Good morning, madam, and welcome to the Gen X Immigration Department. How can I help you?
Hi, yes, I would like to put in my application for Gen X, please.
1983, I see this. What do you believe makes you qualified to enter the Gen X family?
Wrote a list. Here we go. Yes, we played outside. We weren't allowed in the house. And we play until the streetlights came on. Metal slides would give you third-degree burns. Our McDonald's had a hamburger that was a giant jail. And yes, I drank from the hose because it was hot. If you had a tree house, you were cool. And when the lightning bugs came out at night, you lost your shit. We even played with liquid mercury. As soon as you could cross the street, you walked to school. Parents didn't give us money. We had to make it. I know how to use a rotary phone. We had a wall one in our kitchen. When schools got computers, we had floppy disks. And nobody ever made it through the Oregon Trail. You died of dysentery.
Well, madam, I believe that I've heard enough. The current wait times are approximately 3 to 5 years, which is the equivalent of what a Gen Xer would have spent in their room when they were grounded and had absolutely no forms of entertainment. But I think I've got enough here to process your application. So, we will present this to the full Gen X Council, Slim Sherry, Kelly, Tizrock, and others, and we'll get back to you, hopefully soon, with an answer. Thank you for submitting your application.
His Rock, what the living hell?
Not that generation that's offended by everything while being ridiculously offensive to everyone else. We're that generation of hardback and paperback books in the Dewey Decimal System. You're that generation that fancies yourselves as scholars just because you can Google some information. You're that generation of a bunch of know-it-alls that can't even till a garden, drive a stick shift, or change a tire. If the internet was to ever go down, Gen X will be fine. Your generation will be in trouble. You're a bunch of loudmouth dumbasses with smartphones. And if you had a father around that was worth a damn, I would like to give him a call and let him know how you talk to people on the internet. We're that generation that says meet me in the parking lot at 3 o'clock if we have differences to settle. You're that generation of fighting in a chat room or in a comment section or flagging the video when you get your feelings hurt.
Whoa. Y'all, we kept warning y'all, don't mess with these people. This is another important point, y'all. Gen Z has never had a major power outage, or they don't really remember them like that. Okay, so Gen Z doesn't know what it's like when the power goes out. There's no internet or lights or running water. Yeah, evidently, I never knew this, but evidently, like the water and the electricity, those are not independent of each other. Not everywhere. And when I was living in New York, many, 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 many years ago, there was a power outage. Some of y'all who lived in New York or in the East will remember this. And there was like no power for 2 or 3 days. And it was the hardest of times. Now, of course, I was all right because, I was at home and my boomer parents, my boomer mother had prepared for such an event. So we had water and food and, candles, and we were able to make it through. We had enough water that we were able to grab a bucket and at least wash ourselves. So it wasn't the worst of the worst for us, but it was also really sticky. There were no phones. It was really hot, because there were no fans, there were no ACs, there was no ice. And how do you really get through something like that? You simply do. You see, my Gen X childhood was enough to basically tell me, hey, yeah, this is not the greatest of times. In fact, I think we even had a small generator in the basement, so we had some electricity. When I say generator, like one of those big bricks, like power banks. So yeah, it wasn't that. It was aside from it being really hot, because I think it happened around the summer. That was about it, But for Gen Z, they wouldn't be able to survive it. There would be no phones, no smartphones, no internet, no TikTok. It'd be kind of like prison for them, which is kind of what I think they're mostly headed to for anyway. But yeah, Gen Z, no internet, no phones, nothing. They would not be able to even eat because most of them are ordering Uber Eats right now. So, they wouldn't even know how to get to the store without Google Maps leading them to a fast food store that's fast food restaurant that's literally only 3 minutes away from their homes, but they have no idea how to, cross the street and make a left and then make a right and then make another left and another right and then go straight. And it's right there. In fact, if you just look up, you can see the awnings, the golden arches. Yeah, they would struggle with that because they're Gen Z.
I'm gonna need to be the one to explain to all of the 40-year-old people and above. You guys keep sending out these thumbs up emojis, and they look more like this to the Gen X, Z, and millennials. We depict the thumbs up as a fuck you. It's rude.
Oh, the thumbs up controversy of Gen Z. Here I thought my generation had cornered the market on generational grievances. Yet here you are taking offense to the digital equivalent of a polite nod. Generations before had wars and recessions and the rise of boy bands to fuel their fury. But an emoji is what you're getting riled up about? This is the hill you're choosing? You called out everybody over the age of 40. Then lumped Gen X, Gen Z, and millennials all together like they're at some under the hill house party. Just so we're clear, over 40 spans all of Gen X and elder millennials. If we wanted to flip you off, trust me, we wouldn't dress it up like some cute little thumbs up. We're not about that passive aggressive life. We like our aggression served straight up. If the middle finger's what we're aiming for, you're gonna get the real deal, not its polite cousin. The truth is, the only reason we use that emoji is because we're exhausted. After 40, every unnecessary word feels like running a marathon. We can say good job or got it or please for the love of all that is holy make this conversation stop with one of these, then so be it. We've reached an age where our give a damn is busted. And honestly, we'd rather save our typing fingers for Googling things like how to talk to Gen Z without causing an existential crisis.
Gen X is not retired. They're just tired of the BS. Do you really want to go mess with this lady? Listen to how she sounds. Listen to that voice. All right? They're tired of the BS. They just want to be left alone. Why are you messing with these people? All right? Mess around, find out. She's ready to do her jail time. She's ready to go to prison. You can hear it. All right? This is now I understand why Gen Xers say the older they get, the less a lifetime in prison is scary, is a threat to them. Okay? Because they've already done so much time on the outside, doing, lifetime on the inside at their age. It doesn't mean a whole lot. It doesn't mean a whole lot for a lot of them. Guys, there is such a thing as the Gen X rage. Okay? These people have been walking around with it for 20, 30, 40 years. Just pent up. Leave the damn beer alone. Leave it alone. Stop poking it. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying the content, subscribe to my newsletter for my personal thoughts and insights. It's linked in the description of the video. And also join our Angry Guy community on Locals for exclusive content. Or if you just want to support the channel, the website, it's angrygalaxy.com, and it's linked in the description of the video. Guys, Gen X is done playing games with Gen Z. What do you think regarding this? Let me know, and we'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA Men walking away, and cheers.